This is Inspector Hopkins talking to Sherlock Holmes. I know your methods, sir, and I applied them. Before I permitted anything to be moved, I examined most carefully the ground outside, and also the floor of the room. There were no footmarks, meaning that you saw none. I assure you, sir, there were none. My good Hopkins, I have investigated many crimes, but I have never yet seen one which was committed by a flying creature. As long as the criminal remains upon two legs, so long must there be some indentation, some abrasion, some trifling displacement, which can be detected by the scientific searcher. It is incredible that this blood-spattered room contained no trace which could have aided us. I understand, however, from the inquest, that there were some objects which you failed to overlook. Young Inspector winced at my companion's ironical comments. I was a fool not to call you in at the time, Mr. Holmes. However, that's past praying for now. Yes, there were several objects in the room which called for special attention. One was the harpoon, with which the deed was committed.
Ha! Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
It had been snatched down from a rack on the wall. Right, there's the harpoon rack. One of them's missing, and it's in him. Two others remain there. It's weird that I didn't notice that until just now. I would not make a very good cop. Two others remain there, and there was a vacant place for the third. Let's have a look at that now. Oh no, well, in a moment. We'll have a look at that in a moment. On the stock was engraved SSC Unicorn Dundee. This seemed to establish that the crime had been done in a moment of fury, and that the murderer had seized the first weapon which came in his way. The fact that the crime was committed at 2 in the morning, and yet Peter Carey was fully dressed, suggested that he had an appointment with the murderer, which is born out of the fact that a bottle of rum and two dirty glasses stood upon the table. Is that right? Yep, there's a rum, and there's the two glasses. Alright, so let's examine both the table and the harpoons. Oh no, I already did that one. I guess I did probably notice that when I examined it. I just forgot. All right, let's look at the table. Oops. So,
Rum, a sailor's drink. Someone drank from this glass recently. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
rotate the object in any direction to examine it thoroughly and uncover new details.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
A picture. It's a ship's tobacco, right, or something. Wow, this is pretty annoying. Oh, I see. Let's go here. Wow, this is really annoying. Oh god, this is so stupid.
Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
That was annoying as hell. I'm much more enjoying reading the story than playing the video game now at this point. Did I finish? No, there's more to be discovered here.
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
Peter something. Peter Carey, right, of course. Alright. Um, let's have a look at this book rack. Skip's logs. Or else read a little more first. Yes, said Holmes. I think that both inferences are permissible. Was there any other spirit but rum in the room? Yes, there was a tantalus containing brandy and whiskey on the sea chest. It is of no importance to us, however, since the decanters were full and had therefore not been used. There, I think I've already looked at that. I've already seen that brandy and stuff. For all that, its presence has some significance, said Holmes. However, let us hear some more about the objects which do seem to you to bear upon the case. There was a tobacco pouch upon the table. What part of the table? It lay in the middle. It was of coarse sealskin, right? Straight-haired skin with a leather thong to bind it. Inside was PC on the flap. There was half an ounce of strong ship's tobacco in it. Excellent. What more? Stanley Hopkins drew from his pocket a drab-covered notebook. The outside was rough and worn, the leaves discolored. On the first page were written the initials JHN and the date 1883. We're probably about to find that here. Holmes laid it on the table and examined it in his minute way, while Hopkins and I gazed over each shoulder. On the second page were printed the letters CPR, and then came several sheets of numbers. Another heading was Argentine, another Costa Rica, and another San Paulo, with each with pages of signs and figures after it. Let's have a look.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The ship's logs of the...
Uh, I thought he would. I thought he would do something with these, but he's not doing anything with them. Well, maybe I shouldn't worry about it. I tried everything. Right, we did this already, right?
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878.
Why doesn't he turn this one green? Everything else turns green when he looks at it, but not that. It could just be a glitch in the game. I shouldn't worry about it. I feel like I've looked at everything now. I'm supposed to do something with that though. Alright, I guess we're done here. We've looked at everything. We've done everything. Um, oh, the map. Maybe the map. Oh, the map will give me the clue to find what I need to find on the ship's log. Right.
Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
Yeah, I just need to find a clue that will tell me to go look for the 1883 part of the ship's log. Just don't know how to find it. Maybe something outside. Does it have to be in here? Anyway. Oh, what do you make of these? Said Holmes. Asked Holmes. Maybe I should wait before I do this though, just in case. Uh, let's talk to the inspector.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Mr. Holmes?
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Okay. Maybe I should read some more. What do you make of these? Asked Holmes. They appear to be lists of stock exchange securities. I thought that JHN were the initials of a broker, and that CPR may have been his client. Try Canadian Pacific Railway, said Holmes. Stanley Hopkins swore between his teeth and struck his thigh with his clenched hand. What a fool I have been, he cried. Of course it is as you say. Then JHN are the only initials we have to solve. I have already examined the old stock exchange lists, and I can find no one in 1883, either in the house or among the outside brokers whose initials correspond with these. Yet I feel that the clue is the most important one that I hold. You'll admit, Mr. Holmes, that there is a possibility that these initials are those of the second person who was present, in other words, of the murderer. I would also urge that the introduction in this case of a document relating to a
Shh.
large masses
Did you hear that?
of valuable securities give us for the first time some indication of a motive for the crime.
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there. Mr. Holmes, come and see what we've caught in our net. All right, my fine fellow. Who
And
are
hard to
you and
see.
what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? Then what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't.
JHN.
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't.
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't. I'm not. It's a terrible mistake.
Enough.
Right, we had
I'll
already
explain
found the
all
journal
that to the
earlier, I think.
judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Open casebook. Some of the evidence. Sherlock Holmes' face showed that he was thoroughly taken aback by this new development. I must admit both your points, said he. I confess that this notebook, which did not appear at the inquest, modifies any views which I may have formed. I had come to the theory of the crime in which I can find no place for this. Have you endeavored to trace any of the securities here mentioned? Inquiries are now being made at the offices, but I fear that the complete register of the stockholders of these South American concerns is in South America, and that some weeks must elapse before we can trace the shares. Holmes had been examining the cover of the notebook with his magnifying glass. Surely there is a discoloration here, said he. Yes, sir, it is a blood stain. I told you that I picked the book up off the floor. Was the blood stain above or below? On the side between next to boards. Which proves, of course, that the book was dropped after the crime was committed. Exactly, Mr. Holmes. I appreciate that point, and I conjectured that it was dropped by the murderer in his hurried flight. It lay near the floor, near the door. I suppose that none of these securities have been found among the property of the dead man. No, sir. Have you any reason to suspect robbery? No, sir. Nothing seemed to have been touched. Dear me, it is certainly a very interesting case. Then there was a knife, was there not? A sheath knife, still in its sheath. It lay at the feet of the dead man. Mr. Carey has identified it as being her husband. Mrs. Carey has identified it as being her husband's property. See, I haven't even talked to Mrs. Carey. I thought we were supposed to do that, but it just took me straight to this. All right, well let's keep going, I guess. I can probably talk to her later. All right, let's. So what do I do now? Right, we'll keep moving forward. Examine Nelligan's belongings. Ah, I see it's here. So it's a task I have to do, right?
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good
Yes,
morning,
I need.
Constable. I
Okay.
would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
I'll just have a look at
Thank
those
you.
first. Thank you. This must be the way to the evidence room.
Locked.
Yeah. Evidence room? Why did I come in here? Is this just like a maybe this is just like a an Easter egg where you just like look come in here and look at stuff. Maybe we'll have to come in here later. Where's the evidence room? No, no, wait. I wanna look at its belongings first. No. Let's talk about the notebook.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know. I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan.
Shabby cap. Your cap is ugly. You look dumb. And what about this? Patch. You have a patch on your shoulder. You got a thin neck. You're not rich. I figured it out. Also, you have scars on your hands and calluses. You work hard and you have short sleeves. But furthermore, uh, even more important than that, you have elaborate buttons on your jacket, which you stole, and expensive fabric. Where did you get that? Where do you get that blazer? Wait,
The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
sure you
Well,
didn't.
I will see you soon, young man.
Please let me go. I'm innocent.
I have to examine your belongings in the evidence room. I just have no idea where it is. It would probably take me a little while. I will see you later. For I am Sherlock Holmes. Nelligan's notebook. Pinned to the wall. Swift actions. Break-in attempt. He broke in for the notebook, you would think. So he didn't think it was in the hotel. He's lying. The break-in attempts were made in order to recover the notebook that had been lying in a pool of the victim's blood. This proves the guilt of the person who made these attempts. Right, I knew that. Did it.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Before prepare for harpoon throwing experiments. Sounds fun.
Locked.
Where's the evidence room? Oh, this is where his belongings are. Okay, there we go.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Oh, there's the pocket knife.
A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Alright, we're finally catching up with the book.
A handkerchief with the initials JHN.
There we go. Now with this.
R. Dawson.
Right. 1883.
And partner, 1883. To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Interrogate suspect John Hopley Nelligan completed. What do I do now? Inspect the crime scene at Woodman's Lee. Watson will be glad to help with preparing for a harpoon throwing. John Nelligan seems not to be a usual thief. What is his role in all this? Examine his belongings is complete. Investigate suspect John Hopley Nelligan. Going back to Woodsman's Lee. I feel like there's more things to look at there. Continue. Dear me, it is certainly a very interesting case. Then there was a knife, was there not? A sheath knife still in its sheath, right? Husband's property, right? Holmes was lost in thought for some time. Well, said he, at last, well, said he at last, I suppose I shall have to come out and have a look at it. Stanley Hopkins gave a cry of joy. Thank you, sir. That will indeed be a weight off my mind. Holmes took his finger shook his finger at the inspector. It would have been easier to ask a week ago, said he. But even now, my visit may not be entirely fruitless. Watson, you can spare the time. I should be very glad of your company. If you will call a four-wheeler, Hopkins, we shall be ready to start for Forest Row in a quarter of an hour. All right, I'm like halfway through the story. It's only 12 pages, so we're on the sixth page. Alighting at the small wayside station, we drove for some miles through the remains of widespread woods, which were once part of that great forest which for so long held the Saxon invaders at bay. Is everybody asleep now? Oh, there's the wife. The impenetrable wield for 60 years, the bulwark of Britain. Vast sections of it had been cleared um, for this is the seat of the first ironworks of the country, and the trees have been felled to smelt the ore. Now the richer fields of the north have absorbed the trade, and nothing save the ravaged groves and great scars in the earth show the work of the past. Here, in a clearing upon the green slope of hill, stood a long, low stone house, approached by a curving drive running through the fields. Near the road, and surrounded on three sides by bushes, was a small outhouse, one window and the door facing in our direction. It was the scene of the murder. Was Peter a smoker?
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be. But he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Interesting. Peter's private papers? Tell me about them.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband. Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
I guess there wasn't that much to talk to her
Who
about.
could do such a thing? My poor husband.
I thought there was a scene where you like talk to her and you like look her up and down, and maybe I did that scene already. Just forgetting about it. I don't think so though. Oh, probably just get mixed up with a different game or different scene. Ugh. I guess we're done here.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Anything else to look at?
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was... That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
Well, it wasn't a wasted trip coming over here, I guess. Guess we leave now. Um, Stanley Hopkins led us first to the house, where he introduced us to a haggard, gray-haired woman, the widow of the murdered man, whose gaunt and deep-lined face, with the furtive look of terror in the depths of her red-rimmed eyes, told us of the years of hardship and ill usage which she had endured. With her was her daughter, a pale, fair-haired. Um, Peter wasn't such a great guy. She seems less positive on her husband than she does in this one. This would do this to my husband. In the original story, she felt anyone would do it to her husband. A pale, fair-haired girl whose eyes blazed defiantly at us as she told us that she was glad that her father was dead and that she was blessed. The hand which had struck him down. I was just about to make a joke about them being happy the father died. It was true. It was a terrible household that Black Peter Carey had made for himself, and it was with a sense of relief that we found ourselves in the sunlight again, and making our way along a path which had been worn across the fields by the feet of the dead man. The outhouse was the simplest of dwellings, wooden walled, shingle roofed, one window beside the door, and one on the farther side. Stanley Hopkins drew the key from his pocket and had stooped to the lock when he paused with a look of attention and surprise upon his face. "Someone has been tampering with it," he said. "Ah, we remember this part. We're ahead of this. There could be no doubt of that fact. The woodwork was cut, and the scratches showed white through the paint, as if they had been that instant done. Holmes had been examining the window. Someone has tried to force this also. Whoever it was has failed to make his way in. He must have been a very poor burglar." Alright, so we're a little bit ahead of the story. Some parts. "This is a most extraordinary thing," said the inspector. "I could swear that these marks were not here yesterday evening." Watson. I have time to do this. Maybe we should stop here. Can I save the game anywhere I want? Yeah, it'll probably be fine. Do you only want to quit without a menu? All progress since the last load's save point will be lost. They probably saved when I came here, right? Yeah. I can't load games. I can't save manually. I think we're fine. What the heck? I guess we stop here. Bye, everybody. Please like, subscribe, click the bell, leave a comment, and I will see y'all next time. Love you guys. Save recent gameplay. Full video.